Truth to be self-evident that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. That whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most...
And this is Because Liberty with Curtis Hart.
And Chris Mornstead.
And we are joined live in the studio tonight with Jeremy Gray, the Wizard.
The Wizard.
Not supposed to curse in this part.
Yes, I would appreciate that.
Yeah, don't curse in this part.
And so, what is new with you, Chris?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing at all.
Nothing at all.
Just the Millennium Coal thing.
Yes, I gave testimony at that.
We had Because Liberty event tonight over at the Silver Star. That was pretty cool.
Quite a few people show up to that.
We did.
About, a dozen?
Yeah, probably.
Something like that.
Mike Wallen showed up.
Port Commissioner. Good job, Chris.
Yeah, I know. I can't believe it. Can't think of his
You're the
name.
one that knows him.
Yeah, I know.
Is it Bill?
But anyway, they showed up.
And
Jeff Wilson. It took me a minute. I for some reason. He showed up.
I knew it was something like Bill Wilson.
Jeff Wilson, yeah. So they showed up, and then Councilman Moon showed up, which was the first time I'd met him. So I was kind of surprised that we had two city councilmen show up. That was pretty cool.
Yes, that was excellent.
Right. And they gave us some little tips, like, I think he said on the 16th they're going to be holding a hearing at the Longview City Hall to talk about the renewal contract with the stoplight company, the speed company.
The corporation that is spying on us for the government is going to have a contract renewal.
Right, the school zone camera people.
It's an informational workshop for the city council people. So,
but at the end of that workshop, they opened up for public testimony.
Yes,
and so for everybody that's been on Cowlitz County News Uncensored complaining about, the red light cameras and the tickets they're getting, this is the hearing.
This is one of those times where you need to go.
That's right.
Get off the keyboard warrior.
Right. Come in.
And get up off the couch and go actually speak at a public hearing and give testimony when you go to the public hearing.
Or at least send an email. I mean, if you have time to jot down some comments on CCNU, you have time to submit an email to an elected official. Or call them. They take phone calls too. So all their phone...
do.
Yeah, they do. I mean, their phone numbers are on their cards.
You can find out all their phone numbers on the city website or the county website, whatever.
But the best thing is to show up with signs, saying we hate the cameras and, just tell your story of how you got a ticket. And that you don't feel that you deserved it.
Or you just don't feel that you should be deserving to be being filmed. It's against your Fourth Amendment right. Government doesn't need to film you. You can go around filming anybody you want as a public citizen. The government doesn't need to just film people.
So that was a little nice thing that we learned tonight. Is that you have a voice. June 16th, 6 p.m. at the workshop on the traffic light cameras. Show up. Yes,
and they're also having tomorrow...
There's another workshop on Council of Governments.
About the Council of Governments, and that's one of my platform planks.
I didn't
for my commissioner race.
Didn't get where that meeting was being held at, so
I'm not really sure, but you can contact your Longview City Councilman and ask them. They will know because it is for the city of Longview, or the people that are reviewing the contract with the Council of Governments. And I believe that Cowlitz County should also be reviewing the contract with Council of Governments and more than likely just ending it, saving the money, possibly, I don't know, read the stuff themselves as elected officials instead of contracting it out to some other entity known as, I don't even like the name, COG.
I've been asking for months what is it that COGs do. What does COG do?
I don't even like the acronym COG. It sounds bad. Any way you put it, it just sounds not good, especially considering that they're not elected. And it's our elected leaders that are listening to their voice.
How was it explained to us earlier tonight? That these people are doing the work that regular city employees are too busy doing. They're too busy doing other things
a subcontractor
to do this. So they're like a subcontractor to the government. things have become so busy in the city of Longview that they have to now hire out these things for people to do.
Yeah,
and
so that's just one of the things I want to.
Right. And COG is one of the people that are supporting the Housing First Coalition. They're making a lot of recommendations on that. They're part of the group that recommended to not giving money to the community house.
Yeah.
They're just
looking into COG.
They have their own personal agenda. It's not always what is the best for the citizens.
Looking into COG and seriously just getting rid of the Housing First model for taking care of our homeless problem is definitely one of the things that I'd like to see changed as if I was elected as county commissioners, but I do have other things that I am.
Yeah, one of the other things that you were talking about was returning the sheriff's office to control the jail to control the sheriff's office.
Yes, absolutely.
Having the sheriff's office be put in charge of the jail again. Well, we used to be that way here before.
Yes, and now for those that don't know, it is put in charge. It's DOC. And the problem with that is DOC isn't an elected official. The sheriff is. The sheriff should be tied to our jails. Just like in pretty much every other county in Washington State, the sheriff is in charge of the jail. Sheriff deputies patrol the jail. It's not DOC. It's not people that don't have to answer to anybody.
I've talked to people in law enforcement about this, and they said generally, when the sheriff's department is in charge of that, the jail is a complicated situation, housing inmates like that. So it was explained to me that the jail duty for the older officers before they retire is a good position for them to have because they're generally a little bit more patient, they have more experience, and it's a little bit more light duty. So I agree with whoever says that, and there's a lot of people that think that the control of the jail should go back to the sheriff. I'm definitely supportive.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that we would need to get that accomplished. We're going to have to get public input. And how do you get public input at a commissioner meeting when it's at 9 a.m. on a Tuesday? Doesn't make any sense. It's when most people that are paying taxes are at work.
Well, one way you could go about it, and I believe that I did ask Sheriff Nelson one time if he would look at taking control of the jail back, and he said he would. This is when he was running for election last time.
Yeah.
So I would imagine the first step, if you want to be serious about that, is go talk to him about taking control of the jail back, talking to him about the process of it. And start getting it done.
It's up to our county commissioners because they're the ones that make the ultimate
you got to
decision.
make
it
sure.
It doesn't really actually have anything to do with the sheriff wanting to do it or not.
Well, no, I'm just saying it's a good idea to go sit and talk with the sheriff and see what he thinks about
sure
it.
It is,
okay, because he can give you advice on how to get that done faster, especially if it supports you.
It doesn't matter if he wants to do it or not. Because
all I'm saying is to be political, take a few minutes to go talk to the sheriff about it, find out if he supports it, and if he does, then you can work together with him in the process of getting it done through the proper channels of government, which is getting a hearing for it and working through the county commissioners. But try to get his support first. I mean, you don't even know if he wants to do it.
It doesn't matter if he wants to do it, because frankly, if he doesn't want to do it, then we need to get him out of there next time he's up for re-election and get somebody who wants to do the job that they're elected to do. Not just do half the job they're elected to do. In every other county in Washington, except for a handful, their sheriff is in charge of the jail. Yeah, we have counties. 42 counties? Yeah. So most counties, sheriff's in charge of the jail. Doesn't really matter if he wants to do it or not, because that should be part of his job.
It's just easier when you have the help and support of them. It is
easier, but
that's
it's
all
also
I'm
easier
suggesting.
when they don't go and fill up the jail full of nonviolent drug offenses. So, I mean, there's that. There's a lot of things that everybody doesn't like to do. And sometimes when you're an elected official, especially if you're the sheriff, you should be in charge of the jail. He should be out there advocating to take it back over so that there's some...
Well, he had citizens
He had
citizens that came to him and did the process, and they put DOC in charge.
When we have citizens that go in jail and are sitting there on suicide watch and they're able to pull off killing themselves, something should be happening to that. And it should be an elected official that answers for that, not some government bureaucrat that's not elected.
Right. Nobody's ever been held accountable for that.
Never. Not once. And we're going to end up paying the price because our county is getting sued over that. And nothing can be done about it because nobody that's in charge of that stuff is an elected official. They're all appointed by the state.
So something else that you wanted to do on your platform was change the times of the commissioners' meeting to have one in the evening, right?
Yes.
All right.
Not just one. They should all be. Just like almost every other government.
Have you started an actual movement? Have you got people on board that you're working with actively right now to make these changes? Or is this something that you're going to do once you're elected?
Everything is just once you're elected. You can't going and asking our currently elected officials.
No, I'm talking about,
no
are
good
you
to
working
no
with
good.
citizens to do it? Are you working with people in the community to put forward this change
I've
once you
asked
come in place?
on the Facebook plenty of times how many people think that the meetings should be.
So you're
moved to evening
actively
every day.
working
And
on
I've
this.
never had anybody that said that they shouldn't.
So nobody can come and say that you aren't actually actively working on this subject. I'm just saying. You know. Okay, so you're actively working on that. Hey, you took it down to your end. So you got defunding COG.
One of my big issues is stop putting intrusive and unconstitutional things on the agenda altogether. Don't put them on there. If
What
the
do you
state
mean?
has a mandate that we don't like, it's pretty simple. Don't put it on the agenda. Don't deal with it. It's very simple.
That's what I like about one of Grace Harbor's commissioners is that they unfunded mandates. They sent the state a bill for all the court proceedings of certain things that they were doing down there because they made them run this through their court system and didn't give them any money to do it.
Well, no, that was all on them.
Yeah.
They're the ones that decided to put that on the agenda in the first place and do something with it. Really, they didn't have to. So they could have been spending their time on stuff that the state's, trying to shove down their throat. Could just say, well, how about we work on stuff that we want to work on?
Yeah. Would you send a bill back to the state like that?
I wouldn't have ever put it on the agenda in the first place. So there would
No, I'm talking about the court system, about having to hear these things in the court. Somebody goes out and writes a ticket on a mandate, let's say fishing down by the river. That has to go through the court system. We'll be back.
Because Liberty with Curtis Hart.
And Chris Bornstein.